Hey ladies and gents, this is Linda Chic777 and today I'm coming at you with a present that I made for a friend for her birthday. Now this present was a little bit hard for me because my friend is, I hesitate to say minimalist, but she doesn't she likes things very simple, and her decor is just, it's very beautiful, but it's simple. There's not a lot of clutter. It's just really nice things, and she owns her house, but she also rents it out on the weekend as a vacation rental because we live here on the West Coast at the beach. And so she, gets a lot of business that way, and she's decorated her house in a beach theme, which she loves. So that's, wonderful anyway. It kind of, gets to be a double bonus there. And so her birthday gift I created to kind of match her house and what she likes, and I went with really aquas and white, very beach theme type thing, which was difficult for me as well because I think this is the first beach thing I have made. But I have extra, and so I think I'm going to make one of these, very similar to it, the same product and stuff, to sell at my Christmas craft bazaar. So, of course, different because I don't make everything the exact same. Anyway, so I'm going to move my son out of the way, show you what I came up with, and I really, really, really hope she likes it because it's still my style, but I cut it down in half. Half of a half, I think. So here we go. All right, let me bring it in. I love it. I do love it. Bring it in right here. There, are we in? We're kind of out of view a little bit, aren't we? There we go. There. So there it is. Let me adjust my camera down a little bit. I don't know. What do you guys think? Oh, I just hope she likes it. Because, I've brought stuff in to work before and kind of showed her, and she's like, oh, that's cute. But, you don't know that it's her style. So I'm a little bit nervous how she'll like this. See, I didn't put too much in it. I know it's going to be hard to show you through filming process, but we'll do our best. I put it on a glass candle stand. Let me turn it around, that I spray painted white. And this is just one of those candle stands from Dollar Tree. Let me, 1 minute, you guys, move something. I had a little piece of cardboard under here when I was, there we go, taking pictures to make it a little more steady. There we go. Painted it white, and then I took a little bit of gesso over the top with the Pouncy brush, just one coat to give it a little bit of texture. I did the same thing all over the Birdcage with the gesso, Prima white heavy gesso and Pouncy brush. Okay, and let me show you the texture. Can you see it there? I can't really tell what I'm at. There we go. Yeah, you can see the texture there. There we go. And then, of course, the same thing on the cage. Okay, these candlesticks are only about 4 inches tall, so I think in total, without the lid, this thing only is about, oops, sorry you guys, 7 inches tall, and then the lid adds it up to, the top height, about 11 inches. So it's very tiny. Like I said, I just hope she likes it. So spray painted it, the base white, gessoed it, and then, of course, glued it to the cage. The cage is just one of those Michael's $1.50 bin cages. So, very inexpensive to do. It took me probably about 3 hours. You wouldn't think it did, but, I'm kind of picky. So I was back and forth. Is this too much? Is this too little? That kind of thing. So, and you can see all kind of the stuff from the top that I put in it. We have an antique mall here, and, of course, you can go pretty much anywhere around here and get shells and things like that. So that's where I got a lot of my, like the starfish and the shells and things. The little mini shells I actually had in my stash, but some of the other shells and things that I used in here I got at the antique mall. So let me bring it up and show you a little closer. So here is the bottom. This little spray here is from a crystal Prima spray that I got in a D-stash. So I just cut it apart, and I used a piece up here and a piece in the top just to kind of give it a little bit of pretty, you know, without too much. And then I added a May Arts silk ribbon bow because I just thought that set it off. Like I said, I look at it and I think, oh, it's going to be too much. I hope not, because it really isn't a lot, but I know she doesn't like a lot of cluttery looking things even, so I really hope she likes it. So let me get a little closer so you can kind of see it around all the different things I've done. And we'll just go around the birdcage. Most of the flowers I used, they were all except a couple of wild orchid craft flowers. All the rest were Prima and Recollections. Okay. And I glued in such a way, like especially in the back, you can see the fronts of the flowers. And I do that because that way when I'm gluing the flowers from the front side, you don't see the glue glob. So I'll often, when I'm working from the back and you can see it, I'll put flowers facing in the right direction like this to hide all the rough edges and rough glue. I don't like any of that to be seen. I like it to look very finished. And then you can see how I layered, you know, the front direction that way. Okay, I used one little tiny sheet of paper right down here. And I think it was Teresa Collins' So Noted collection. Or one of those, but it is Teresa Collins, and it's a little aqua with some script on it. One of my favorite sheets. Okay, also you can see up here from the back side, I used some Prima flower trim. Let me look real quick, see what trim that's called. It's right down here. This is it, that way I can show you a little bit better. This is the trim I used. Floral trim, and this is the Magnolia. Oop, there we go. Okay, so that's what I used. Just, you know, 3 little things there just to give it a little something from the other side. You just see from the front side, you just see kind of some tips poking up. And there's that spray that I used like on the bottom under the bow. I glued this like in the open position, so hopefully it stays. I had a heck of a time making that stay up while I'm gluing it. I think I was getting too impatient trying to get it to dry. A bunch of beautiful, these are the Recollections in Prima, those boxed flowers. That's what the type of flowers I used. I've got a Prima Rolled Rose in here from Debutante Collection, because y'all know I like that. Some script flower, you can see it back there. I just thought that made it just a real pretty kind of beachy looking. That's Recollections flower. So what I did is I layered all the flowers in the back, and then I had this big frame here. I think this is a Recollections resin frame, a big square frame, and I kind of pounced on it with some gesso. And then I layered laid that against the flowers in the back, and then I layered like the rolled rose and this beautiful Prima, this aqua flower in here. And then I've got some flowers down in here, of course. This is a Recollections, and underneath is a white Recollections one here. I know it looks teal. It's a white one, and then I spritzed it with water in the center and then used a Prima Color Bloom spray right in the center to give it a pop of the color in the center, and the rest around it stayed white. And then a little wild orchid craft flower back there. Got a Prima resin bird here in flight. Thought that was kind of pretty. And let's kind of look down in this way and let the camera focus a minute. So as you know, my rolled rose and everything and all those flowers in there, and then I laid the starfish right up against that and kind of almost leaning on the frame, not quite. Okay, and then that shell down there, our antique, the Crafters Mall where I got the shells, they have a big bin of shells that have been sliced. So that's like a slice of a shell, and I laid it in there. Okay, the first thing I did is see this kind of small like aqua colored clam shell or seashell. They came that color, so I laid it inside kind of up, so it was like a little scoop, and then I laid that little you can see it there. Isn't that really pretty how it's sliced? I laid that sliced shell in there, and then all these little tiny ones, I have a big bag of those in my stash, so I layered, you know, a bunch of little tiny ones in there right in here. This is just a shell I bought from the antique mall. And then over here I layered a bunch of shells. Okay, and then right here, I'm going to tap it so the sand will move just a little bit. One moment, let me tap it down here so you're not giving me a headache with my finger. There we go. This is a little round jar and had a cork in it that I used in my stash. Underneath, I have these tiny little, tiny, like the size of a dime up to a quarter, these little mini tiles I found at like a garage sale, and they were rounds and squares and heart-shaped. So I laid one. It was kind of a blue color, a little bit of the wrong shade of blue, but I laid it upside down because the blue that kind of is on the side a little bit was the right shade. So laid it upside down, glued my little vial on top of it, and of course, before I did that, I filled it with a little bit of sand and some of those shells. Okay. And then thought that was cute, huh? This is by Prima, the Ingville Bulm. It's Junkyard Findings, and it's ship parts. It's a package of metal little ship parts. Let me show you, because I brought it out over here, right here, ship parts. And it's just 4 to a package, but I brought out the little steering wheel. I just thought that was super cute, just kind of laying there against the shelves and the bottle of sand and the seashells. I was going to put like a little note in there, but I decided to go with sand and seashells. Try to say that a lot. And then, of course, this little Prima metal sign that says Paradise. Right there, that's just a Ingville Bulm, one of her metal street signs. Okay, because, you know, the beach is paradise. And then I wanted to add just a little bit more texture. So what I did is Prima 3D matte gel. You guys know I like to do that. And onto like the flower, onto some of the shells. You can kind of see it. And then I dumped actual sand on the 3D matte gel. So that's the texture you're seeing is actual sand. So I just painted it in various places, a little bit on the little ship steering wheel here. You can really kind of see it over on these shells. I've got it, it's just really ever so soft. You can see a little bit of the texture on the bird wing. It's again on the frame back here. So just a little bit of sand. I wanted it to almost be, I got it a little bit good on the flower. I wanted it to be more kind of big and clumpy like piles of sand, but that's okay. That might have looked stupid anyway, but I got the sand in there like I wanted. So anyway, that is my project, just a tiny, and like I said, I think I'm going to make another one similar to this to sell at the Christmas Craft Bazaar this December, because, you know, everyone around here likes the beach stuff, but it's my first time using that kind of stuff. I love beach stuff, but it's not in my house anywhere, but it was fun creating with something different. I had fun with that. Tell me what you think. I will have the links down below to my blog, Pinterest, for more close-up photos. I'll get this on my blog at some point. I thank you for sharing your time with me, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.